Hello everyone! Today we're going to be talking about some unpopular opinions because it's been a trend on Twitter lately for people to go around, post a picture like John Wick having all the guns pointed at him, or that dude from Tangled having the swords pointed at him, and be like, what's your unpopular opinion about this certain topic that gets this reaction? And someone posted that about comic books, and I tweeted out that it was my opinion on The Dark Knight Returns because I think that The Dark Knight Returns is severely overrated. That's my opinion, and it's also a fact, let's be real. But yeah, so today we're going to be talking about some of my my most unpopular comic book opinions. These are all like opinions on mainstream characters and stuff, because if you have some like obscure opinion on like a smaller character, no one cares, so it's not really an unpopular opinion. So yeah, first off, let me explain. Hold up, my cat is trying to knock over my Baja Blast. Jimmy, please. Stop. Anyways, like I was saying, Dark Knight Returns. It is a comic that I think is very average, and I think that we've had a lot of comics sort of do similar things to what it's tried to do way better. I think it's something that maybe if you grew up with it, that's why a lot of people enjoy it, is because that was the first Anyways, back to what I was talking about. So, Dark Knight Returns, I think a lot of people have a sort of nostalgia for it because they grew up with it, and also it was the first time they saw something really like that, to where I didn't grow up when that came out, so I had read a lot of other Batman comics with that tone that were done much better. So when I read it, I was like, oh, this is just not very good, and there's nothing really unique about it, and the art is pretty bad. I'm sorry, but Frank Miller peaked with Wolverine, with the Claremont Wolverine storyline. Like that one, he did a great job on the art. But everything else, he's like definitely not my forte as an artist. But art aside, the writing in that is not very good. It's mostly filler, in my opinion. Like, if you read that book, it's mostly like, oh, here's some interesting things Batman's doing, and then here's the news to explain everything. And it's like, okay, why is like 80% of this book just like the news? And it was, please get back to what was interesting, about the book. And you have Carrie Kelly, like possibly the worst Robin ever. She's literally just there to get Batman out of situations. That's all she's there for. She's not a character. There's nothing to her character at all. It's just, oh, Batman's in a bad situation. How do I get him out of it? Carrie Kelly shows up. That's it. The book, it's overrated. I don't really care for it at all. And then the way they handled Superman was really dumb. I don't care about Superman, being portrayed in different ways. It's an alternate universe storyline, whatever. But it was just handled very poorly, especially their fight. Like, Superman just acts like an idiot during it. And it's really dumb, especially because Batman's so old during it. And Superman just gets his ass kicked, and it just felt like very much someone that didn't like Superman but loved Batman was like, now I get to write my fetish, what I always wanted to see. Batman just pummeling Superman, telling him how much better he is than him, felt like something that Bruce Timm would love to do. But yeah, Dark Knight Returns, I know this is a very popular opinion, a lot of people are going to be disagreeing with me, but that's the point of this video, is talk about my unpopular comic book opinion. So that's probably my number one. Another one I have is that Cassandra Cain is just not an interesting character to me. I think she's one of the least interesting people in the Bat family. I think her whole thing is kind of dumb. Her whole, I learned fighting before I learned a language, so that's why I can't talk. Like, fighting was my first language. My god, that's so stupid. I always thought that was the dumbest thing. Even as a kid, when reading the comics and that came up, I was like, this is just stupid. And a lot of people liked it and thought it was cool and thought she was cool. It's like, ooh, Ninja Batgirl, and she can't speak, and she's the best fighter of all time. And it's like, That's why I loved it in Jeff Johns' run on Titans, when she goes and she tries to kill Deathstroke, and Dick Grayson one-shots her on the beach, just punches her straight in the face, because he's like, we don't do that, we don't try to kill our enemies. He just goes, wow, it was great. I loved it. That was my favorite thing ever featuring Cassandra Cain. Just Dick Grayson just straight up, equal rights, seeing her straight in the face. It was great. Loved it. But yeah, Cassandra Cain, I think her whole deal's dumb. Not really into that character. Another unpopular opinion I have is I think that Superman has the best rogues gallery. I think it's better than Batman and Spider-Man, because those are the two that you always hear that Batman and Spider-Man have the best rogues gallery. Spider-Man has that guy that dresses up like a rhino. Isn't he cool? And he's got Dr. Octopus. Isn't he cool? It's like, Superman to me character-wise, has the most interesting villains. Like, you've got Brainiac, this dude that went and bottled up Kandor and then bottled up a bunch of other cities, not to mention the fact that there have been so many different versions of Brainiac, so there's a lot of really cool interpretations, but my favorite is the one from Jeff Johns, which is more of a refined version of what we've already had before. But yeah, I really like his version of Brainiac, this guy that went and bottled up Kandor and then bottled up all these other civilizations, like all these planets that were dying. He went and was like, I'm gonna take the last bit of you so that way I'm the only one that has it. And he's a really cool character. Then you've got Zod, who is like, what if someone with Superman's powers was like this evil general and was like a Kryptonian nationalist? That would be cool. Then you've got Lex Luthor, the smartest guy in the DC universe, the guy that has no powers at all. He's just got wealth and is the smartest guy in the DC universe, and he is Superman's #1 adversary, and they're completely different in their approaches to friggin' everything, and I love seeing those two go at it. And you've got Parasite, a guy that sucks power from people, so it's like, how does Superman fight him? Because he gets too close to him, he gets his powers, and he's also got a tragic backstory, and just, there's so many interesting characters in Superman's rogues gallery that don't get the light of day. Like, so many people don't even really know about them, or they get misrepresented in other forms of media. Like, for instance, a lot of people don't really care for Lex Luthor because all they know is the Lex Luthor from the animated series who just got loud and angry, and that's all he did. Like, that was it. Like, that's all you know from like, if you watch the Bruce Timm stuff, basically all you think Lex Luthor is a bald, rich, evil guy that gets angry a lot. Like, that's it. There's like nothing to his character in that show. It's just always just, I am loud and angry and I need to kill Superman, and that's it. And it's like, yeah, that's not showing any of like what's interesting about the character at all. Okay, we're gonna turn this into a cat cam because he is just non-stop right now. So we got a cat cam now because he's just non-stop on me. So you'll see what's going on when I'm just doing my thing in the video. Got this cat right here. Okay, point being, I think that Superman has the most interesting rogues gallery, in my opinion. I really love his rogues gallery. I like Batman, Spider-Man's rogues gallery as well, but I think Superman's rogues gallery is severely underrated. People don't really talk about him that much. Everyone's always Batman or Spider-Man, but no one really talks about Superman. He's got a ton of interesting characters, and they've just, to me, surpass the others, but they all have good rogue galleries. It's just an unpopular comic opinion that I have. Moving on to the next opinion, which is that Kingdom Come is overrated as well. It's another book that people kind of give it a pass in a lot of ways. Like, it's beautiful, no doubt, and it's not a bad book. It's just overrated. Like, it's funny because so many people get mad at things like Man of Steel, and they're like, Superman doesn't care about life. But then in Kingdom Come, everyone kind of ignores the fact that Superman's about to like bring down a building on everyone and kill so many people, and then he just gets convinced out of not doing that, and everyone's like, oh, because he didn't do it, it's fine. It's like, he was going to kill everyone unless this old guy didn't, convince him otherwise. Like, that's kind of weird and felt out of character, even though it was a Superman that hadn't been Superman for a while. That like struck me. I remember when I was reading it, I was like, that really did not feel like Superman to me, and struck me the wrong way. Like, I was just not into that at all when reading that. That part really put me off, but the rest of the book, it's not bad. It's pretty good for the most part, but that part was really like just not easy for me to gloss over. It's like, yeah, Superman was about to kill everyone. But yeah, it's a good book. It's just, a lot of people will put in there as like one of the best Superman storylines of all time. I'm like, oh, I don't think it holds a candle to Up and Away or All-Star Superman. So yeah, I would not put it in that upper echelon of Superman stories. And my final unpopular comic book opinion for today, I have a lot, but I just wanted to narrow it down to a few of the ones that I think I get the most flack for, is that I think Hush is a masterpiece. I love Hush. It is my favorite Bruce Wayne storyline for Batman, because my favorite overall Batman storyline is Batman Black Mirror. But Hush is fantastic. I really love it. The ending is so good, and I like that Riddler was behind it. A lot of people get pissed about that and aren't happy about that, and they feel like the book's a mess and it's only good because of Jim Lee's art. But I actually enjoy the story, and I think it's a really good book, and I might do a video on it one day, defending it, talking about why I really like it. It's just, man, it's really good. And that ending, like Riddler being behind it, I get why some people wouldn't like it, because you want Hush to be behind it and all to be about Hush, but Riddler being behind it, to me, added a lot more to his character, and like was one of the best moments we've had from Riddler in like the past couple decades, because he hadn't been doing too much around that time, and then they did that and it was great, especially because Batman ran into every other villain. Like, you saw what every other villain was doing. Riddler, you know, tried to rob that truck, and that was it. But you saw what every other villain was doing, so it's kind of like, what's going on here? And then it was Riddler in that scene. That's one of my favorite moments in like any Batman comic, is that that scene in the precinct when he's interrogating Riddler. It's done so well, and Hush is a great book in my opinion. But I've seen like a lot of people, it's weird because I remember when like around when Hush first came out, like the following years, a lot of people liking it, at least from what I remember hearing about, was a lot of people liked it. But then in like the past, I don't know, 5 years or so, it seems like a lot of people have been talking about how Hush isn't very good. It's just the art, and the rest of it's not a good book. So it's weird. It's kind of all over the place. But in my opinion, it's really good, and I really enjoy it. And I think Hush is a masterpiece in my opinion. But yeah, I know a lot of people are not going to agree with me. That's the whole point of this video, though, is talking about unpopular opinions. So anyone that's like, oh man, this guy didn't like The Dark Knight Returns, but he calls Hush a masterpiece, he's an idiot. Well, the whole point of the video is to talk about unpopular opinions, so that's why you didn't agree with a lot of what I said. Anyways, that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and please let me know in the comments below, what are some of your most unpopular comic book opinions. I want to hear that from you guys. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see y'all later.